name is Autumn Warner. I am almost 20 years old. I have 7 siblings, 6 of which are married, so I have 19 nieces and nephews. I have 20 nieces and nephews. One was just born. And then I have 3 pregnant sisters. I have 2 very happily married parents who are really supportive of me. I play ukulele, guitar, and piano, and I sing, and I write my own music. It's my favorite thing in the world. I live for music. I am a talent scout for a record label. It's kind of the best job you could ever ask for. I get to work with musicians all day, and it's really fun. But for some reason, all through high school, I was really sad. There are times when you're driving in the car and you start to think thoughts about just like ending your life, and you close your eyes and you let go of the steering wheel and you just keep driving for a little while. It's really alone because these are thoughts that like you can't share it with your family. I mean, they'll just worry about you. And I was ashamed of having the thoughts, so I couldn't tell anybody because I just felt like I was really ungrateful for having these horrible thoughts, even though I had been given everything I could possibly ask for. On October 7th, 2012, I was diagnosed with chronic low-grade depression, obsessive-compulsive personality traits, and autistic tendencies. It blew my mind because I was telling him how I was feeling, and I was telling him all these thoughts that I was having that I had been hiding from my entire life. And as he listened to me talk, he would start nodding his head, and he would stop me for a minute, and he would tell me why I was thinking those thoughts, like why they kept popping into my head. And it was the most remarkable feeling like I've ever had. Going to a therapist was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. I didn't want to think that I couldn't control the emotions that I was having. I think people who have depression need to understand that this counseling that they need is going to be the hardest thing they have to convince themselves to go do. But it's so worth it.
Whether you think you're depressed or whether you don't think you're depressed, that really doesn't have anything to do with your neurochemical balance. I mean, your neurochemical balance is the way it is. If you want to say you're not depressed and you have a depressed neurochemical balance, you're still depressed.
It's okay to accept that this is a struggle. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and that you can get help for it. And that shame and that embarrassment and that isolation is a lot of what keeps people away from getting the help that they need. So I guess I would say lean into it a little bit, and it's okay to open up to others and to professionals about depression and what they might be struggling with.
You know, nobody feels exactly like you feel. We all have our own peculiar mix of neurochemicals that makes us somewhat different from everyone else. There's a certain range of norm, but defining the norm becomes really, really difficult.
Okay to come on by. You will not be alone.
So why am I deciding to tell everybody my story? I'm telling everybody because from the time I was 12, I did it pretty much alone. I didn't tell anybody because I was ashamed of the thoughts and I didn't know I had them. And I was scared of my own thoughts, and I don't want anybody who's going through the same things that I went through to have to do it alone or to think that they can't be happy. I want people to realize that there's hope and that your body's sick, it has a disease, but that disease can be fixed. There's ways that your body can get medicine. You can go to therapy. The same way if you had diabetes, you would take insulin. You can go to a counseling center. BYU has a free counseling center. You can get help. You can be happy again.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of